There are those that just want to be left alone, and those that just won't leave them alone. Which one are you? The Ernest Hancock Show.
Welcome back to Declare Your Independence. Yeah, just to make sure, I go on my Google Translator and I take the "We Know the Truth" in Arabic and then see what it says in English. We know the truth. Man, that's one thing that I want to emphasize. With the internet and the tools available, and you just got your Android and your apps, I mean, you can just communicate immediately. Google comes out with a universal translator. I just go blah, 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 push the button, boom. Tells you, it's happening right, not later. And it's all of these teenagers that just have no use for the type of government that they've grown up and seen, how it's beaten down their families. And they got an entire life ahead of them to look forward to that when they know what's going on through the internet and the lifestyles of people all over the world. And they're going, you know what? I don't think I'm going to accept this. And you have love-olutions. That's what happens. Hopefully they're love-olutions. Well, as they get into this, what happens, Professor? I mean, are we, you don't think that there's going to be a Tiananmen Square moment where you have the regime's going, you know what? We know how to put an end to this. It's called tanks.
Well, that option is on the table, and I think that would be extremely tragic. But I don't think there's good reason to think it won't happen. And one is a sort of the fuzzy, soft one, and then the other one is just the good, hard consideration. And the fuzzy, soft one is that the Egyptian military holds pride of place in the Egyptian public in the collective memory. So it would be very difficult to make that call and break that sort of long-standing sort of solidarity in the Egyptian collective memory. But you could say to me, well, okay, that sounds great, but yeah, if you got to shoot, shoot. All right, and to that I would apply the hard consideration, and that is that the Egyptian military has been the power behind the throne in Egypt since 1952. So they are effectively ruling without governing, which is a beautiful place to be. Secondly, the Egyptian military holds massive economic interests in the country. They handle everything from bottled water to bread to olive oil to Jeep assembly, tires, cement, construction, you name it, and the Egyptian military in some way, shape, or form is involved in it. So, seeing that it's so positioned so well politically and economically in the country and within the sort of confines of the state, they fire one bullet and they risk losing the state. So I think that there's just a really good, hard economic reason for why they won't do it.
Yeah, right up until they do. I mean, we have here in the United States, that was the whole point. After the Civil War, we got this posse comitatus thing, and they go, you know what? Yeah, we don't really need that posse comitatus anymore. And we at least, the charade of just saying, yeah, we're just going to kind of do away with that. Well, do they have it in writing in some way in Egypt, or is it just kind of a cultural thing? They got a law they got to change? What?
No, I just don't really see them risking everything they have.
Unless they see it already at risk. I mean, when it's obvious that the people are not going, the last result of a tyrant is to be more tyrannical.
Right, yeah. Well, judging from the comments coming out of Cairo from the new vice president, the prime minister, and the outgoing president, my sense is they feel like they have the upper hand and they see the daylight at the end of this problem, so all they got to do is hold on. So I think they figure they've won this, and by all accounts, as much as it hurts my heart to say this, I think they have.
And what do you mean by they're going to give up Mubarak as kind of sacrificial lamb and then throw in another guy?
Mubarak has been absorbing a lot of punches in their rope-a-dope strategy, and I believe that they'll eventually have him retire in Egypt. He's not going to get on a plane and be exiled. He's not doing exile.
Why?
Because it would set a very dangerous precedent for how you kick a leader out. Egypt's a very proud nation, and it's a country that doesn't want to be shamed into, watching their president go away in exile. So I think that while the people want him to be on a plane and want him to be exiled, the military ruling establishment, that's one of their sort of untouchable conditions.
All right. Let me give some predictions here.
Okay, let's predict.
My prediction is this. Food must be on the shelves for a sustained period of time at a low enough price that people do not go hungry. Period. Okay. That doesn't happen, all bets are off. Now, you're saying that the military and the regime, whoever, is flooding the grocery shelves with some food at a rock-bottom low price to kind of, quell the dissent. But I'm saying when that stops, should it stop, inflation keeps going up throughout the Middle East, I don't see how we are doing this, just central banking, printing of money, inflation rampant across the planet. That is not going to stop. It will get to the point that they will not be able to afford to do it. There will be food shortages at any price. So I'm going, when that happens, all this goes away.
Okay, yeah, I guess I'm on the other side of that one. I don't see the military seeing that happening since they're in charge of the food.
So they're going to manufacture food.
Absolutely.
Pull it out of their tanks.
Well, they already make food. They're in charge of olive oil. They're in charge of bottled water. They're in charge of bread. I mean, they're already in these industries. So
you have any economic training? I mean, you understand where I'm going with this. I mean, you can sit there and wish it all you want. If it's not there, it's not there.
I understand. No, I'm just on the other side of it. I think it will be there.
Okay. We have February 4th, 2011. You're pretty confident that they're going to be able to keep the stocks, the shelf stocked for how long? A year, forever, what?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. Let's say the next year.
Okay, so we'll go between now and certainly a year from now.
Super Bowl next year.
Super Bowl next year. By Super Bowl next year, we're going to have a stable. The military is going to maintain control in Egypt.
Yeah, sure, I can do that. But look, there is one little small caveat. The people that are protesting are going to be very disappointed and very pissed off, and there's going to be no getting around that. But, this is the exact same state they were in before they revolted on January 25th.
I don't see it. The economics come in. It's math. It's simple math. We have never been in this situation before. We look at, riots in Greece and in Italy and Iceland, Ireland, it starts in France. It starts going in these more sophisticated, developed, westernized countries around the same kind of things. And you start getting into these poorer countries where you have an even larger percentage of the people that, you can throw out a bunch of bread, but sooner or later, math catches up. That's just the way it is. So, I got time. We'll wait. We got a year to go here. Well, what about the other countries? Saudi Arabia, does that seem stable?
Yes.
Because?
They haven't really had any protests yet.
Yemen?
Well, they've had some protests, and the president has promised that he won't run again for the presidency in 2013. I don't know that's going to be enough to starve them off, but right now I say stable.
Jordan?
Jordan's a wild card. I'm not entirely sure. I'd say 50-50.
Syria?
I'd say 85% stable.
So are they dominoes? Does one, Egypt certainly you would think have an impact on the others.
Yeah, I guess it's going to really depend on how Egypt turns out, right? The domino for Egypt was Tunis, right? And what happened in Tunis? They chased the leader out, but all the same goons that used to run the country are still there. So, changing the leader and not changing the regime, is not exactly a revolution.
So do you see it like a genie out of the bottle thing, or stuff back in? Is there, a realization of individual power or just information? Or, imagine this. I've had CIA guys from the Cold War on, and we're talking about different things that were effective and such. And I'm going, it seems to me that if you just translated the Declaration of Independence into whatever local language and dumped it out of airplanes, you'd have more impact. And they go, that kind of thing was the most effective propaganda they ever did through through Voice of America and different publications and so on. And I see the same, which is what we're going to do. It's what we are going to do right here. Declare Your Independence, Freedom's Phoenix, Libertarian Party United States, International Society of Individual Liberty. We're going to send some goodies over to Cairo and see what happens. And we'll keep you informed, okay, Professor? Because I think it'll be of interest to you. Well, thanks for coming on. I appreciate your time. And we'll be with you next week, Monday. We're going to have Citizen X. Glenn Jacobs is going to give his perspective on what's going on here on Declare Your Independence. We'll talk to you Monday. Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. Readers of freedomsphoenix.com are constantly provided the information that detail the real news between the lines of propaganda about government policies and the true relationship we all have with coercive governments. Learn the true condition of our economy, innovations and technological breakthroughs in energy, health, computer science, and space travel. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media, the media that is so last century. Corporate media has evolved into nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but we now have a fantastic alternative. FreedomsPhoenix.com provides constant news updates on the issues that affect our lives in the most important ways. Our liberty and our property are under constant attack, and FreedomsPhoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda while encouraging the participation of our readers. Join us at FreedomsPhoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, Phoenix.com. FreedomsPhoenix.com, where the revolution between the ears has already matured.